Hello, and welcome to Candidates Up Front, a public interest election program of Berks Community Television and the League of Women Voters of Berks County. Our November 7th general election is coming up. Citizens who are 18 or older will vote for judges, school directors, and township, borough, and city officials. The deadline to register to vote is October 23rd. To check your voting status, go to vote.pa.gov. That's vote.pa.gov. You can register, change your party, locate your polling place, or apply for an absentee or mail-in ballot. And the deadline to apply for those is October 31st. If you are looking for information on statewide, school, or township races or borough officials, please use the League's online voters guide, vote411.org. That's vote411.org. And for information on countywide and Reading candidates, please stay tuned. The League interviewed candidates in contested races, those who wanted to be interviewed, and for each race, the candidates got the same basic questions and had the same amount of time to answer them. For the League, I'm Judith Cranus, and let's begin.
Hello and welcome. I'm Kay Herring, a member of the League of Women Voters of Berks County. 4 candidates are competing for 3 seats as Berks County Commissioner. They are Democrats Dante Santone Jr. and Jess Royer, and Republicans Christian Leinbach and Michael Rivera. The Board of Commissioners is the chief governing body of the county. The 3 elected at-large members perform the executive and legislative functions of county government. The term is for 4 years, and the current annual salary for a commissioner is $110,339. The commissioner chair is $113,678. Each candidate's views are their own and not those of the League or BCTV. This interview today is with Christian Leinbach. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm going to have you start off by telling our viewers about yourself and why you were running.
Sure. First of all, thank you very much for you leading this interview, and also to the League of Women Voters. I'm running for re-election. I'm in my 16th year as a county commissioner, and I want to throw it out there right from the beginning. If people want more information of where I stand on issues, what I believe, what I've done, I would encourage them to go to our website. There's 2 of them, christianleinbach.com, and then Commissioner Rivera and I are running as a team, and that website is makingberksbetter.com. I really believe that over the last 16 years, we've grown the economy locally, working with the private sector. We've been fiscally responsible. In 16 years, inflation has run about 40% from 2008 to today. We've increased county spending by 10%. When you look at the general fund budget, that's very responsible. At the same time, we have a AAA bond rating, one of only 3 counties in the entire Commonwealth, and the current Board of Commissioners is the first board in the history of the county to hold that bond rating for an entire 4 years. We won that rating in 2019 and was reaffirmed earlier this year. Fiscal responsibility is job number 1, and when we are fiscally strong, we can deal with issues like the economy, attracting more jobs, taking care of our employees, dealing with issues around our parks and rec. But that's where it starts.
Great. Thank you. Well, what is the most important thing you would like to achieve if elected?
Apart from continuing to focus on finances, I am very committed to 3 things. 1, continued efforts to restore passenger rail service to Reading and Berks County. We're at a point with passenger rail that we have never been since 1981, when the last trains pulled out of Reading Station. I'm very encouraged working with Berks, Montgomery, and Chester County. Number 2, growing aviation at the Reading Regional Airport. We may talk about that a little bit later, but that is vitally important, and the county's taken some critical steps to make that happen. And thirdly, looking at things like quality of life. We continue to invest in our parks and rec. When I took office, Antietam Lake was just being transferred from the city of Reading, and today Antietam Lake Park is a gem in the Berks County Park and Rec system.
Great. Do you feel policy changes or investments are necessary to encourage sustainable, well-paying jobs?
So Berks County historically has never had or put together an economic development strategy. About 3 years ago, we hired our first ever Director of Economic Development, Pamela Shupp-Mennett. Her official title today is Director of Community and Economic Development, and she shepherded a process working with the Chamber, working with local municipalities and local businesses to develop and implement Imagine Berks. If people want more information, they can go to imagineberks.com. But that is a strategy for economic development, deals with housing, it deals with workforce development and training, it deals with land use, and a wide variety of issues. Not only did we adopt it, we have put several $1 million behind it directly, and one of the aspects of that plan is a broadband initiative, which at the end of last year we funded with $6.3 million from American Rescue Plan money.
Okay. Taking a little bit of a different question here on a topic. Weather damage has increased throughout the county. What can the county do to lessen risk and then damage? And I have sort of a two-part question here. Let me ask the questions and then answer it how you see fit. Should Berks have a sustainable plan, and is the change in weather figured into the county's land use planning?
So land use is primarily the responsibility of municipalities. The county works very closely with municipalities, what we call the comprehensive plan. Our comprehensive plan reflects the local municipalities' plan. When we look at weather events, in very recent months, this is kind of front and center for Berks County. The July 9th event at Antietam Lake was, or Antietam School District below Antietam Lake, was unprecedented. We are addressing these things through our Department of Emergency Services. We have contingency plans in place, working through DES, which is Berks County based, and PEMA, which is a Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency. And there are efforts with groups like the Conservation District to address stream bank improvements, something we call riparian buffers, discouraging farming right up to the stream, and instead making sure there's plantings, trees, and other types of plantings to protect and limit erosion. There's a lot more to this. The Greenway Plan addresses some of this as well. We've seen some of this damage in our parks and rec, and we've continued to work and plan to address those.
Okay. Berks County has infrastructure, and it funds infrastructure. Agricultural land preservation, libraries, parks, technology, public transportation, and more. That is to help to encourage the local economy and make Berks a desired location. Are we doing enough? Is there anything you would increase or improve in that area?
Well, we covered a lot of area. We've already made a commitment to broadband. Broadband has both an infrastructure and a quality of life component. We've committed $6.3 million to the broadband initiative. We're working with the Wyomissing Foundation, working with Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, but it's not just about getting the broadband and fiber in. We also need to make sure that accessibility is addressed. And accessibility can also involve affordability. So we're working with a number of partners in that area. When you look at ag land preservation, Berks County is the #1 county in the Pennsylvania Ag Land Preservation Program, and we're #2 in overall ag acres preserved, only second to Lancaster County, our partner to the south. We have invested in the restoration of passenger rail service. I chair the Schuylkill River Passenger Rail Authority, a multi-county authority, the sole objective of which is the restoration of passenger rail in a fiscally responsible way. The airport. We made a commitment last year and fundamentally transformed the way the airport operates. The county now is directly involved in day-to-day operations. Instead of meeting once a month with the old authority, we're meeting twice a month. We're working and investing in the future of that airport. When we talk about infrastructure, it's one thing to have it. It's another thing to first maintain it and then make strategic decisions on where to invest dollars that will benefit the community, both economically, but also the quality of life. And I think you have to take both into consideration. If everything becomes about money, we don't always make the right decisions. And if everything becomes about quality of life, you eventually run out of other people's money.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have a little bit of a specific question. You mentioned the airport. In what you were just talking about. And the county recently took control of the airport. You've talked a little bit about it, but specifically then, you do believe that it should be a county function?
Yeah, most people don't know this. About 43% of all airports in the United States are owned by counties. They're not private. County government runs airports all across the country and all across the Commonwealth. The county owns the airport, did own the airport. It isn't a change of ownership. It is a change of the way it's being managed. We had a great group of volunteers for many years that were appointed by the commissioners and served on the airport authority. Now, the airport authority is composed of the 3 sitting commissioners, the chief operations officer or his or her equal, and the director of community and economic development or his or her equal. And when you do that, you have the people running the county also making the decisions at the airport. It makes it much more efficient and much easier to make, I believe, good decisions about the future of aviation in Berks County. We're talking right now to entities to grow the business, including looking at the potential return of commercial air service.
Thanks for explaining that, how the group is running it and what it consists of, because I know it's been a recent change.
Thank you.
Now, what are your thoughts about when we should build a new prison? How large of a facility should we have? And anything about programs we should have to prevent recidivism?
Well, let me start on the program side. I am especially proud of our leadership team at the jail and our partners like Berks Connection Pretrial Services and the R3 Trades program that they do for people coming out of our treatment courts, people coming out of jail, that train them in the trades. The returning citizens job fair that they've done every year for many, many years to help people, again, coming out of our jail, teach them how to prepare a resume, do a job interview. But they don't stop there. We bring in businesses from all over the county that hire people coming out of our jail system. You look at what Council on Chemical Abuse has been doing to support with various programs around the addiction area. The programming has been very good. Our mental health and developmental disabilities. We are part of a national program called Stepping Up. We are considered one of the top counties in dealing with diverting people with underlying mental health issues who are nonviolent from the jail into proper treatment. The jail is going to have to be built. I believe probably within the next 5 to 7 years. Our goal right now is to make sure that the people that are housed in the jail need to be in jail. Jail should be for people that are either a flight risk waiting for trial or are a serious risk to the community. We need to look at alternatives, community service and other options for people who are not a risk to themselves or a risk to the community. So right now our focus is on right sizing. One last thing on size. When I took office, the jail was right around 1,300 average daily population. Today it averages around 750 to 800. In part that is to the credit of our leadership, our programming that helps deal with the issue of recidivism. If all we ever do, if somebody does something wrong, we throw them in jail, it's a revolving cycle, and we saw that. Our district attorney deserves credit for the way he has handled people with various crimes. We believe that number needs to get lower. We're looking specifically at our severely mentally ill. We have over 100 people on any given day that are in that category, and jail is not where they should be. We cannot give them what they need. And in the 21st century, it is shocking, and I'll end this question with this.
I know it's a big
It
question.
is shocking that jails, county jails in the United States, are the #1 provider of mental health services in America. That is not the kind of thing we want to see in the 21st century. So mental health is one of the areas we're looking at very closely, finding alternatives to jail.
Okay, thank you. I know it's a huge issue, and we could spend a whole program just talking
We
about
could,
the
and I've
person,
been very,
but
very involved in this for several years.
So I'm going to take the next couple of questions I have and sort of combine them. It's talking about the county government's workforce. The county commissioners are responsible for the county government workforce. Are we right-sized? Are we paying enough to attract the right talent? And then there's a specific question about the Berks County workers have a retirement fund.
Sure.
And that fund has given no cost of living increase to retired workers for more than 25 years. Yet elected officials got regular cost of living increases. What are your thoughts?
So, first of all, yes, we're right-sized. When I took office, we were somewhere around 2,200 to 2,300 full-time employees. We're around 1,900 today. We regularly look department by department, are we right-sized? And right-sized is the proper term. It's not about just being smaller. Smaller isn't always better. It's about being efficient and finding where those numbers are. Are we doing the right things? Do we have the right benefits? Do we have the right pay in place? We just finished earlier this year an extensive study of all of our non-union employees. Union employees all go through a contract process, and I believe those are being handled properly. We hired RKL to do a study, and almost every employee ended up with a pay increase to get them to where they need to be in the market. As far as the retirement, people need to understand the retirement plan that is in place in the county is not the retirement plan that most people are familiar with in the private workforce. When somebody retires from the county, they get paid as long as they live. And to me, I am not willing to put on top of that some type of annual increase in that pay, a cost of living, when I know they already have a benefit that most taxpayers don't have. And when I stop working, I stop getting paid for the county. So the cost of living is tied to people who are working. The retirement benefit is paid as long as the person is alive.
Okay, thanks. That's another big topic. And
It
one
is.
last one that is a hot topic also, and it's about elections, but we only have about a minute left.
Okay.
Pennsylvania election laws are set by the Commonwealth, but elections are run by the counties. Do you feel changes should be made to the election law?
So if anyone wants to look at this, pacounties.org is the site for the County Commissioners Association of Pennsylvania. If you go into our platform, we have a long list of issues that bipartisanly we agree need to be changed relative to elections. What is shocking to me is since the 2020 election, there has been bipartisan call for election reform, and virtually nothing has happened. People need to call on the legislature and the governor to make common sense election reform.
Great. Is there anything else in 30 seconds? I'm going
In
to
30
give you
seconds,
to make your closing
I
statement,
believe,
and then we have to wrap up.
I believe that Commissioner Rivera and Leinbach, the Rivera-Leinbach team, have done a good job making Berks better over the last 4 years in very difficult times. We've maintained the AAA bond rating, which saves taxpayers money. And if you believe Berks County can be even better, I would ask our voters to consider voting for Michael Rivera and Christian Leinbach for Berks County Commissioner. If you want more information, check out makingberksbetter.com.
Well, thank you very much, Christian Leinbach, for sharing
Thank
your
you.
views with us. Viewers, please remember that there are 4 candidates for commissioner. Democrats Jess Royer and Dante Santoni Jr., and Republicans Christian Leinbach and Michael Rivera. You will vote for 2, and the 3 highest vote getters will be elected. You will find candidates' upfront interviews on BCTV and its website and YouTube page. For more information on candidates, go to the League's online voters guide, vote411.org. Or you can contact the Berks County Election Services at 610-478-6490. Thank you for watching Candidates Up Front. I'm Kay Herring. Have a great day.